Hey y'all, Lisa Davis here, the trusted banker. And I was just sitting here working, doing some work on a Sunday, March 30th. And I came across this video and I was about to watch it. And I was like, well, let's see, we might as well watch it together. So I've never done this before. So let me find out, let me see how I can do this. Hopefully, I don't get any dings to my page. But I see that the Midas Touch is talking about Michigan Trump voters turn against him in public. So I wanted to see what this was about. So let's watch it.
Overwhelmingly, the Trump voters in this focus group were pissed off. They said they feel utterly betrayed. They say that Donald Trump has taken a wrecking ball to the country and their state, and they want their vote back. We'll just show you a little bit from this focus group that was released a short time ago. Let's play it.
A show of fingers. Who approves of what Elon Musk has been doing in the Trump administration? None of you. And who disapproves? All 7 of you.
See, he wasn't elected to do anything. Like, I don't understand his position. It's a made up position that they made, department or whatever. And he's been going through with the sledgehammer, just actually dismantling everything with the approval of Trump. So I'm almost at the point where, did he actually buy the election to do what he wanted to do?
He was president for 4 years. You knowingly chose to put him back in office, having watched him in office for 4 years.
Oh, wait a minute. We got to talk about this because I personally disagree. I have a different take on that because I don't believe that we elected to put him back into office. I believe that just like in 2016, Trump stole the election. I remember specifically working the polls in 2016 or whenever that election was, 2015 for 2016. I remember what happened in Detroit and I remember what happened in Wayne County. And if you're not familiar with Michigan and you're not familiar with how our politics go, I forgot to bring the mic up, how our politics go in Wayne County, Detroit is in Wayne County. Wayne County is a huge county. And typically, Wayne County will carry the state, the rest of Michigan, because a lot of Michigan is rural. The Upper Peninsula is rural. We're the biggest city in the state of Michigan with the biggest population. And Wayne County is huge. So I worked the polls in 2016 during that election. And I remember our election machine broke where I was working at the polls. And they sent out a team, one man with a briefcase, 2 bodyguards, and he was like the election machine director of something. And the machine had been down for an hour. And during that time, none of those ballots were counted. That means that they didn't go into the machine the right way or whatever. And so those ballots weren't counted. And so they I'm not sure if they threw them out, but they didn't take them through those counters. But the other thing that was happening in Wayne County, only in Wayne County where Black people had to vote, they moved the polling districts. So people were going to place to look for a voting place where their voting places was. They moved it over here. They moved it over there. There were problems. Machines were down. Polling places were closed. We lost a lot of votes. And so what happened is because the machines were broken, so much had happened. They decided to do a recount, and a recount was a manual count. And so we had 80,000 plus, 75,000 plus paper ballots that needed to be recounted. And those counts were sent downtown into one of our big arenas. And they had all these people come in, all these volunteers through the clerk's office and to do a recount. And there was intimidation. The Trumpers were outside the doors trying to break in, trying to stop the count. We had over 75,000 votes that needed to be recounted by hand. The count had to be done by hand. All these ballots that got lost, that got messed up, the machines that had gotten broken. So they were going to do all these recounts, and they ended up throwing out the recount. They ended up just not doing it, and Trump won Michigan by, I think, 30,000 votes. We had 75 to 80,000 ballots downtown Detroit waiting to be recounted, and they just decided to just trash it and give it in and let Wayne County just not take the county over, lose all those votes, and Trump won by it was between 10 to 30,000. So I believe that in 2020, We had put so many precautions into place. We had put so many safeguards into place. We made sure that the mailboxes were everywhere. Big Gretch made sure that the polling machines were working. We got all new machines for Wayne County because we had the old antiquated machines. Like, we did a lot of things for those next 4 years in preparation for the 2020 election, and Wayne County came through, and Wayne County carried the vote, and Wayne County had Michigan blue. Michigan never turned red, really. Michigan turned red because they stole it. And when it came back in 2024, last year when we had our vote, Wayne County did not turn, we did not, Michigan did not turn red. We didn't. We had 92%, 95% voters in 2016. That was the biggest population of Wayne County voters ever, because that election was so important in 2016 and in 2020. Wayne County would have carried the vote, but they stole the election, and they stole the election in 2024. I'm sorry. They stole it in 2016. We had a big population come out in 2020, and they stole it in 2024. So I don't believe that. I don't believe Michigan turned red. No way. That's my story. I'm sick of
How can you be surprised?
I don't feel like he was this aggressive last time, because I don't think anyone would have voted for him if they expected to see what we're seeing now.
I don't understand the need to piss every other country off. Like Canada. Like we love Canada, don't
This is what I've been talking about. We love Canada. In Michigan, Canada is like a part of Michigan. We love Canada, and it is so embarrassing. It's so heartbreaking that Trump is doing this to Canada. He's not even from here. He doesn't understand the relationship that is here. But like, growing up in Michigan, Canada is part of your right to passage. It just is. You turn 19, you go to Canada. Drinking age is 19. Strip clubs are 19. Age is 19. Everything is 19. Like, and they've got all kind of great stuff to do to give you your right to passage into adulthood. Canada is like where we go. So we love Canada. Okay, outside of that, we still love Canada because they have great food. They have great landscape and fishing. Like, I grew up going there fishing. I grew up going there. It's like so much to do. We love Canada. Okay, let me stopping it.
we? Like, I just, my whole life, there's never been a problem with Canada.
I thought he was going to like change things with affordability and make things cheaper, but by like putting these tariffs in and terrorizing the world, now things are just going to get more expensive.
So I missed it. Are these like Trump voters that are regretting their vote, or are these just Michiganders that are saying they just don't like what's going on? I don't.
Everything I believe is going to happen, I think, is going to go the opposite direction.
I feel like a lot of his actions have just been disruptive and creating chaos.
He didn't come out and be real with us and say, hey, I'm going to cut hundreds of thousands of jobs, and you could possibly, your bills are going to go up. Like, that wasn't campaign time.
You voted for Trump in 2024, but you've been very critical of him so far in our conversation. Someone watching this might say, why did you vote for the guy?
Oh, these people did vote for Trump. Isn't that interesting? Okay.
Sure. I think what he campaigned with and compared to what he's doing is pretty opposite.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming. I didn't think he was going to take these points of views that he's taking.
I thought that his first 100 days, like he talked about, would be so much better than they are. It's a little frightening.
Before he goes, I just want to say it is interesting to me that these are all young people that he's interviewing right now. And I just feel like, because the history that we learn, like America's education system doesn't teach American history very well. And I believe that these kids just don't know all the work that went into for us to get all of the benefits that we had. And they're not believing that he's trying to strip all those things away, because these are all things that were fought for throughout the last 50 years. These are amendments to the Constitution that help to make things fair and just and equal for jobs, for medical benefits, for pay, for women, for healthcare. Like, these things have been fought for and earned, where anybody under 30 basically grew up in a time where all these things were already in place. I remember doing sit-ins. I remember doing protests. I'm a 60s baby. So we were still fighting for things. When I went to college, we had to fight to get African American history into the college so we can study it. So when you don't grow up, when you grow up and all these things are already in place, I believe that making the younger people believe, no, you got to build yourself up from the bootstraps. You don't need all these benefits. You don't need affirmative action. You don't need equal opportunity. You don't need equal rights. And women don't. That's because you guys didn't grow up fighting for it, because you don't know how it was before we had it. So, because it seems like it's a lot of young people on there being interviewed.
That's an understatement. And the MAGA Republican Congress members in Michigan, like Tom Barrett, are avoiding their town halls. Let me just share with you from a local news segment. They are finding time to show up to basketball games, but not see their constituents, who are holding their own town halls in the absentia of the MAGA Republican Congress members. Let's play it.
There's a town hall planned today in Lansing, and Congressman Tom Barrett has been invited to attend, but it doesn't look like he's going to show up. The organizers behind the event say they will still leave an empty chair on the stage anyway and give people a chance to voice their concerns about recent changes to the government.
Now let's bring in Michigan Democratic State Senator Mallory McMorrow, out with a new book, by the way, Hate Won't Win, Find Your Power and Leave This Place Better Than We Found It. Here's the book right here, and I read it. Thank you for sending me a copy of it. And when I show you that focus group, is that what you're hearing on the ground in Michigan?
Oh, yeah. I mean, people are pissed. They are livid to see that Trump and Elon Musk is just giving Elon Musk a chainsaw to slash and burn the government in a way that people did not vote for. This is directly impacting people's lives, and the Republicans are just running away and hiding from their own constituents.
And I know for a fact several of my friends have lost their jobs. And I didn't know it, but in talking to some of my friends that did work for the government, like, it is really impacting people here. One thing that did come out that's good is Governor Big Gretch. I love her. I'm so sad she's not going to be our governor anymore. But Big Gretch did send down that unemployment is going to get an increase. So it's taking me back to COVID times when unemployment was paying very well. So they're raising the unemployment rate from like $300 and something to almost $500 a week. And then it said more increases are going to be coming soon. So that's a good thing, because people have lost some very good jobs, or are making good money, and they need to be able to still afford their bill. So that, I thought, was a good thing. I don't know if all the other states are doing that. I can look it up while I'm watching this video and just show you. I forgot where the email came from, but yeah, the unemployment's going to go up. So that's a good thing. Love Big Gretch.
Now, one of the things you're hearing a lot, you spoke about it recently at a committee hearing, is how scared the veteran community is, not being able to access services. Can you speak to that?
That's right. Yeah, I had a town hall in my district, and a woman came out who works for a federally qualified health center. They do a lot of work with the VA. And she told me she can't even get a call back from the VA, that people there have either been fired, they're too scared to answer the phone, they are afraid to do their jobs. And this is no way to treat veterans, is to just completely cut them off from their health care and their support system. And that's what's happening right now.
We've been covering the protests across the country. There was a big protest in Detroit, and then kind of a corresponding one in Windsor, showing support between the American people and the Canadian people.
I just did a video on that. Let me see. Do I need to pull that up? Should I pull that up? Hey, that sounds like Whitney Webb. Let me see who that is. I think McMorrow. That's who it said, McMorrow. So I don't know who Whitney Webb is, but yeah, I just showed that video how Windsor and Michigan got together last Sunday, actually, and did a joint protest. And it's because we love Windsor. We love Canada. We love them. They are our friends. This is them yelling at each other on both sides. That's from Detroit looking over to Canada. That's our Canadian friends across the river. Yeah, that's us. This is us on this side, downtown Detroit. And they have just been like the best neighbors ever. I have more videos, because it's just so sad. It's just so sad that the stuff that Trump is doing is turning it into other things where people have to like live. It's like, what's this video? I love this. I love this. That's downtown Canada. That's downtown Windsor. And that's just spread across the way. So I love that they did that. I love that Canada made a new song. That song sounds so big and strong for them. So I love that for them. Literally, I ride my paddle boat from Detroit to Canada. Like, you can just ride across the river. It's just a mile. When we have things going on, celebrations, carnivals, or whatever, we can hear the sides. We go across the bridge, enjoy restaurants. People work in Canada from Michigan. People work in Michigan from Canada. Like, I don't like what's happening. Okay, let me go back to this. Sorry.
With this wedge being driven by the Trump regime saying they want to annex or conquer Canada, as Michigan's proximity.
And that's the other thing. I think we can't even go to Canada now. Actually, I wanted to go to a concert. I got to find out. But somebody told me that they have now stopped allowing us, like it's a 2-year, a 2-year wait, or we are not as freely able to go to Canada as we used to be. Literally, you could just go over there at a drop of a dime. I don't know for sure how easily they're letting us over there now. Just to like I said, go to dinner. Growing up, we didn't even need a passport to go over there. You just needed a driver's license or a birth certificate.
To our ally, people that we love, Canada. What are you hearing in Michigan, and how is this all affecting your constituents in Michigan?
I mean, you heard it right there in that focus group. We love Canada. Canada is our neighbor. You drive around Detroit, you take one wrong turn, you're in Canada. It happens all the time. We have people who cross the border every single day between Detroit and Canada to come to work, to see their family, to see their friends. The idea that we would treat our friend and our neighbor and our ally in this tit for tat tariff war is absolutely insane. And people are so angry. This is such an overreach. And as we saw, it's bringing Canada and the United States together in protest against Donald Trump.
Your book, Hate Won't Win, it's perfect for this time as well. And it's also, I think you talk about, just as Democrats, but as people, and not sacrificing your values. I mean, just because we saw what happened in the 2024 election doesn't mean to become clones of this hateful message, to lead with empathy and love and bridging the gaps between people. So it's a very timely book, and maybe speak to the book in the current context of what we're seeing right now, late March of 2025.
Yeah, the book is really to answer the question that I've heard from thousands of people across the country who said to me, I'm so overwhelmed. I want to do something and I have no idea where to start. So part of it is about my story, my very unlikely journey into politics. I quite literally Googled how to run for office in the wake of the 2016 election and found my footing and found my voice. So the book is a lot about what I've learned and how I've seen people find their own voice and be effective. Right now, what we're seeing at town halls is people not just asking Democrats to do something, they're asking what they can do too. And it is going to require all of us to step up and use our voices and tell Donald Trump and this administration that they're not going to take our country away from us. And this book is a guide that I hope people take and use and learn how to do this themselves.
It's so funny because when I was getting involved as well in building this media network, the first way I started was Googling, like, what do I do if I want to make a video, and how do I go about it? And
we all start somewhere.
And that's what you have in your book, Find Your Power, a whole section on.
Okay, well, I don't know if the rest of it's about the book, but I have a question. Do you know whether or not the governor is going to give unemployment extension? I don't know about an extension. Or you mean longer than the 29 or 30 weeks? I don't know about that. I didn't become unemployed. I don't know. I can look right quick. But I do know that the increase in pay from unemployment, Michigan unemployment And the fact that they're already looking at ways to make sure that people are going to get more money, they might, because losing this many jobs at one time means there's going to be a ton of people looking for jobs. And if there's not that many jobs available, there's going to be a ton of people that need funds in order to, it's almost like putting us in a extreme emergency situation, with all these people losing their jobs. Where is the unemployment part? I literally, oh, here it is. Unemployment law changes take effect. Let's see, I can show you this screen. How do you do this? Share screen. Can you guys see that? Let me see what it says. It says unemployment law changes take effect April 2nd, which is Wednesday coming up. Claims filed before or on April 1st are eligible to 14 to 20 weeks of unemployment benefits. Claims filed on or after April 2nd will be eligible for 14 to 26 weeks. So they are extending it at right now. That's a 6-week extension. So that's good. They're going to increase unemployment benefits and added weeks. Oh, here it is. So people should really file after April 2nd, it looks like. The change to the Michigan law also boosts the amount for each dependent. So the law increases the maximum benefit amount by $84 a week and extends the maximum weeks benefits can be collected to 26 weeks and more than doubles the amount per dependent. The weekly unemployment benefit boost is for the Michigan workers since the maximum amount was increased to $362 in 2002. Expanding unemployment isn't just about supporting workers in tough times. It's about building a stronger, more resilient economy where every Michigander has a stability to recover and grow and thrive. That's good. So the new claims filed on April 2nd or later, maximum weeks going to go to 26 weeks. Maximum benefit goes from $362 to $446 this year and $530 a week in 2026 and $614 in 2027. The amount for each dependent from the current $6 to $12.66 each this year, $19.33 each in 2026 and $26 in 2027. That's cool. So not only do you get your weekly benefit, but you get paid for the dependents that are in your home, like if you have little people you're taking care of. Big Gretch signed the changes to the unemployment law in December, but the legislature did not give immediate effect to this legislation, meaning the earliest changes that could be implemented is April 2nd. It's coming right on time. So yes, they have extended it for 26 weeks and it goes up to $446 a week, that's pretty significant. So 446 times 26 is 11,500 over 5 months versus 362 times 20 versus 7,200. So that's pretty good. Whitney Webb is very interesting. You should check her out. Okay, I will. Thank you for that. I will check her out. Is she a, I could check her out. Whitney Webb. So that's good. Oh, managing director, head of family governance. Whitney Webb is my head of family governance, Capital. Oh, this was a person you're saying this was one of the people that was on that panel. This looks like one of the ladies that was on that panel. Whitney was a Kiva Fellow, Rwanda, where she worked to strengthen partnerships. I'll check her out. Crescent. So yeah. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. Michiganders are getting tired. So we're going to see where this goes. Trump his first 100 days are going cuckoo loco moco. They're going crazy. So we're going to see if the people are going to stand up and start, really taking it really seriously, because they say he's using the authoritarian. I can't say the word. Let me go look up my spelling. Authoritarian. Oh my God. Authoritarian. Oh my God. Why can't I say this word this morning? Authoritarian. There we go. He's using the authoritarian, and the definition is especially of the government at the expense of personal freedom. I'm traveling to London at the end of April. And it's just kind of getting crazy about how many people are getting stopped to get back into the country after they leave the country. Authoritarianism, Jesus Christ, is a political system characterized by the rejection of political plurality, the use of strong central power to preserve the political status quo, and reduction in democracy, separation of powers, civil liberties, and the rule of law. Yeah. What does authoritarian mean? Jesus. Yeah. It's getting a little bit scary out here. People are talking about traveling out of the state now. Oh, I didn't show you that. It's getting tricky. It's getting a little dangerous for people. People like me with this YouTube channel because they're checking people's phones now when you're trying to come back into the country. So I'm gonna have to buy another phone because they take your phone when you're trying to come back into the country. They're saying the Constitution can't protect you until you clear immigration. And so there's a gap between when you get off the plane, you're waiting to clear immigration. And in that gap, at that time, you have no personal protections, no legal authority, no legal protections, and you're not protected by the Constitution. And if they take your phone and then they see that you've got any kind of social media, or they Google you, or they see that you've got any anti-Trump talk. I don't think I do anti-Trump. I just do the news, and a lot of the news is about what's happening to the people. That they can detain you or something. So yeah, I'm going to London at the end of the month, and I'm going to be getting another phone because even if you try to delete stuff off your phone, erase history or whatever, they'll do a deep dive. Even U.S. citizens, their phones are being searched. That's what I mean. Yeah, when you're trying to come back to the United States of America after you've left the country, the other countries are not searching our phones. They're searching our phones when we try to come back to the country. So that's why I got to go get another phone because I leave out of here at the end of April to London, and I can't have, if they search my phone and they pull up my YouTube or they pull up my whatever, So I don't think I do anti-Trump. I just do how I feel and what I feel about what's going on. And nobody likes to have their freedoms taken away. Nobody likes to have Big Brother looking over your shoulder and seeing what you're talking about, what you're talking about, how you feel about things, and telling you that's not allowed. Nobody likes to hear that you're taking away. I saw a post that said he's going to try to get rid of the African American History Museum because African American history is not American history. It's a lie. Nobody wants to have a government gaslighting them. Like Black folks didn't go what Black folks went through, right? Like women didn't go what women went through, right? Like your personal freedom should be your personal freedoms. I thought the GOP, I thought the conservatives' whole thing was they hated to have government all in your business. And this is the most I've seen government in everybody's business because this government is basically on a rampage to punish anybody that doesn't agree with them. And this is crazy. It's crazy times. It's crazy to me. So yeah, it's going to be kind of tricky traveling if you have an opinion and you're opinionated online. What exactly can they say even if you have things in your phone? They don't have to say anything. The way that they're doing things is they are just going to detain you. This regime that they have right now, they don't. It's almost like how Elon believes: do first, ask questions later, right? Do the action first, ask questions later. So they can just punish you. They don't have to have a reason. They are not allowing the law to be, right now he's challenging the judicial system. So he's not listening to the law of the country. He's doing what he wants to do. And if you're not on his side, he will detain you. There's been people that's been in detention. Did you see the one lady? There's been people that's been in detention for the last 10 months for no reason. They hold you in a detention place. But did you see the lady from Canada that said she was just detained? There's a couple of things that's going on. Canadian detained by ICE at the border. So this person was detained. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me go to a better one because this is too many ads on this page. Hold on one second. PBS. This is the she was detained. She said she was stuck in a freezing cell without explanation, despite eventually hiring lawyers and media attention. Yet compared with others, I was lucky. There was no explanation, no warning. 1 minute I was in immigration office talking to an officer about my work visa, which had been approved months before and allowed me, a Canadian, to work in the US. The next I was told to put my hands against the wall, patted down like a criminal, and sent to ICE detention center without chances to talk to a lawyer. I don't know why she was detained, but she was just detained. So they're doing things without giving you rhyme or reason, and they're just doing it. Same with this person, the Columbia student deported against the judge's wishes. Columbia University. Let's see if we can see this one. So this one is this person. No, it's not that one. It was the lady, Hannah. Who was only provided her first name to media outlets due to, no, not her. Wait 1 second. The student that they have it on film, how they just arrested her. Judge blocks tough student deport.
Today, a federal judge in Massachusetts blocked the deportation of a Tufts University student who was detained by ICE in a now viral video. Rumaisa
Right here.
Aturk
She's down
was
here.
taken into custody Tuesday by undercover immigration and customs agents and taken to a detention facility in Louisiana. Aturk is from Turkey. Her lawyer says she has a valid visa and no criminal history. Homeland Security officials say she's engaged in activities of support of Hamas after the student wrote an op-ed last year demanding Tufts University divest from companies with ties to Israel. Today, a judge blocked her deportation until questions about her arrest were answered.
So the thing about that is she was protesting and saying, protesting and standing up for Palestine, whatever. And because she was protesting, they revoked her visa without letting her know. And when they revoked her visa without giving her notification, they went and picked her up. So, and also when she said she had a visa, they said, no, you don't, not anymore, because we revoked it. So they revoked it without giving her a heads up and then deported her. The judge said, don't deport her. They deported her anyways. And sent her to Louisiana against the judge's ruling. So right now they're doing several things, including testing the judicial system, because if they can test the judicial system and then say that they can just do whatever they want to do, they're the rule of law, they don't have to listen to anybody. Now we have fascism, right? So, or authoritarianism or whatever it is. Americans being detained at the border. And denied, detained, U.S. border incidents have travelers thinking twice. Can you guys see that? No. So a lot of travelers are thinking twice. I just bought my ticket too. U.S. visitors are increasingly uncertain about traveling to America. So these are people coming to America to travel here after the number of high-profile detentions in the Trump's administration crackdown. Like Muhammad, there's nothing. It's almost like because of the way that it's being done and you're not being given your rights in order to call an attorney or whatever, it's dangerous. What happens if you're denied entry to the US? So these are the things that's going on at the border. Americans being detained at the border to re-enter USA. And the other thing is like this part right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but they're saying there are lawyers that are saying you have a right not to let them check your phone. You have a right to leave your phone locked. They can take your phone if you refuse to open it, and they'll do a scan at a later time. But in the meantime, I feel like if you show resistance like that, that they will just arrest you, or they'll just detain you, or they'll just throw you in a cell. If they take your phone and throw you in a cell, what can you do? And they don't allow you a phone call. What can you do? That's the problem. They're not following the rule of law. A lot of people still believe like, well, you have rights and da 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 da. He doesn't care about your rights. He's not caring about it, and he has the police and Homeland Security and ICE working for him. So she's an investigative reporter. Oh, okay. Let me check. Whitney Webb, investigative reporter. Mint Press? Information warfare to control you. Throughout her career, Whitney Webb has dedicated herself to exposing corruption. Da, 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 da. Whitney's reputation as an investigative journalist is built on her ability to meticulously piece together. This is the most recent article. That's why I pulled this one up. It said March 18, 2025. In recent years about Whitney. Has she written anything recently? One Nation Under Blackmail. That's an interesting title. I'll check her out. Where is she working? That's interesting. That's older. Yeah, I'll check her out. I'll read about that in a minute. In a minute. So it's just getting a little dangerous out here, in my opinion. So, yeah. So I'm just going to get a new phone so it doesn't have any history on there. That's all I'm saying. Because I know one lady was British. Yeah. One lady was British. The one was Canadian. I just don't know. They're saying, well, I'm also on TikTok. So on TikTok, you see a lot of people that travel a lot, and they're saying what happened to them, their detention, their detainments and things. That ICE is just that they're just checking phones. They are definitely checking phones and things. So I don't know. I'll let you guys know after I get back in the country. But I'll let you guys know then what it was and how it was and what's happening and how it went. But right now, I just know I'm gonna get a second. I probably shouldn't be saying that on here. I don't know. But so for people like me that have these kind of platforms, I don't know. It just seems a little weird. And I don't feel like my platform is that bad. I've seen a lot worse. So anyways, I thought that was a little interesting that Michiganders are feeling they're feeling a certain way right about now. So hopefully we get it together over here and we do some things about it. Let me see if he talked to anybody else besides this author. Because this was a long time. Yeah, the last 5 minutes were with the author to talk about her job, her book. So let me see. Yeah, so that was that for that. All right, y'all. I was doing some work. I know one lady was British. I was getting my work done. So I got to get back to that. But I will be back next week. I want to talk about the CFPB and all the changes there. The wind down of the FDIC that's coming. The Federal Reserve was coming up with that. They're getting rid of some of the regulations that are out there to protect community. That's some of the regulations that I used to monitor when I had my job at the bank. So a lot of stuff to talk about next week. Teaching a few classes, doing a few workshops, and doing a few speaking engagements. So it's been busy over here, but I will be in next week and I will be talking to y'all then. All right. I'll talk to y'all then. I'll talk to y'all later. All right. Have a great Sunday. Have a great Sunday. It's beautiful here in Michigan. I hope it's beautiful where you guys are. And I will see y'all tomorrow, Monday. I'll see y'all Monday. All right. Bye. I don't know how my outro is doing. Let's see. Do I have an outro?